EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. A moment ago, here was the scene. The Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and we are underway from Atlanta. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Ryan. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. It's caught at the 25. Jones, 61 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. We've seen these two, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, connect quite a few times over the years. It never gets old.
It never gets old. Well, maybe for the defense it does, but not for us who are watching it. And Julio, every time he steps on the field, you can just about mark him down for 100 yards. That's about his career average per game. But think about this. Getting in the end zone has always been a struggle for him. He gets the big yardage, but he doesn't get the touchdowns. Not this time. No matter how many people were kicked in coverage, he found a way to beat it.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the gun, here's Cousins. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect. and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. These guys hooking up right away here, Charles. 2 plays, both passes in his direction, and both catches.
And in our time together, have we not seen the tight end position continue to develop in the passing game? You know, at some point, we may not call them tight ends anymore. We may have to come up with an entirely different way of designating that position and what they do on the field. Because when I hear tight end, I think of the old school, hand in the dirt, blocking on the line of scrimmage. These guys are much more receiver than they are guys who are going to move in the running game.
7 yards there and a first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Chances are good he's going to be a very busy guy. 2 catches already in his opening drive, and they were looking his way for a 3rd.
I think they put this defense on notice that that could be a really, really frequent combination. On 2nd down, Cousins again. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on 3rd. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Rudolph on the receiving end from Cousins. That one good for 26 and a first down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this. And, hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll take this one down near the 15. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
2nd and 9. Cousins. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack. 3rd and long for Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. Running for it. Here's Cook. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And the Falcons' defense stands tall. They'll get the football back.
You off already?
Mm-hmm.
They cut out.
Offense out there for their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive.
Hey, you think what was funny, first funny?
What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was very easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
We'll see if it's that easy here.
Victoria Secret bag? Nope.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Hey, Tuesday.
Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he'll find some room to get this out to about the 14. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for first. From the gun, it's Ryan. It's caught. Jones. That one goes for 30 yards. Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And it's hit there, altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Now, that's absolutely terrific technique right there by the corner. Exhibit A. Zone coverage. Knew where his man was in relation to the football at all times and made a nice play.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Freeman, 57 yards. And the Falcons push further out in front.
What time you pick? You've got a home run hitter on your side of the ball, and you know that he can score from anywhere on the field. It usually inspires the rest of the guys to do their jobs even better. That resulted in a lot of great blocks downfield because they knew if they gave him space, he could do exactly what he did, put the ball in the end zone.
Cut grass. Everybody, you know? I had to go back up there and make 2 trips. You want to make a 3rd trip?
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
much Walmart charge you to cash your stimulus check? Was it $6?
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Cousins to throw it. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well.
Let's go have lunch somewhere.
I just ate some rice.
Cousins now to throw on first down. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. Halftime rolls around. Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
They'll run on first down. It's Cook. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. On second down, Cook. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that's knocked away and incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Cousins in the offense is going to stay out there. They're going to try on 4th down. Now Cousins on 4th down. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. And we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half.
And he's taken down. back in his own 7. There for the sack, Emerson Griffin. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3.
That's it, baby. We got work.
Look at my best friend. Don't I cry? Look at my best friend. Don't I cry?
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think that they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor
Boy, I need a big
of a big
ring.
second half.
What you gonna do today?
Because it's backyard in this game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they
work
come up
tonight,
on
so
3rd down.
Easy.
that's pretty much.
Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. It was Ricardo Allen there on the coverage. So now 4th down.
They're not even hot
These
outside.
guys went for it on their last drive, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, even though it didn't work
Yeah, I
out,
know.
I would not be surprised at all if they went ahead and did it again.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Darn right.
Boy, I need a soda. I'm about to go through caffeine withdrawal.
Shit, you good.
4th down. Cousins.
Oh, come on.
Intercepted. It's
Kidding me.
too far.
Hold on to the ball.
40-yard line. That's where the return stops.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass.
Damn.
Tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do. In this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. 9 yards is the pickup there. They'll have a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
51, down.
Here's Ryan to throw. It's complete to Jones. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown.
How is he killing me like this?
Julio Jones.
What over here?
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Falcons push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast, game being on second half no matter what. Well, his first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that doesn't...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Desmond Trufant with a sack. The corner blitz hits home. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Gun. Wants to run. No. Check that. 152 right here. Gun.
Throwing. Cousins. Trying to lay one up deep. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick, and he will bring this all the way back out to midfield. So their woes on offense continue. That's the second pick thrown here in the third quarter.
And we know it was ill-advised, but that was an opportunity to help them get back into the game. Instead, he throws another interception, and now their task is even tougher.
Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. After the interception, here's Ryan. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Now, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Check it back. Check 43. You got tank right there.
They run. Devontae Freeman. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. Anthony Barr able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Back now in Atlanta. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. The Falcons will go for it. It's Ryan. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins And he's going to be intercepted a third time. It's Desmond Trufant. Facing this fourth quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
How does this nigga...
Touchdown, Falcons! Julio Jones, 46 yards. And the Falcons push further out in front.
I don't get it.
They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily that you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. To throw again on second down. Cousins. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 45-yard line. Cousins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Gun.
Cousins now. And Diggs has it. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
52 to the line, boys. 52. Gun. Pretty quiet, team. We're pretty quiet.
Again, it's Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
What is
Picked off
this?
at the 13. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offensive coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field, so play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more, but a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. 12 yards is the pickup, good for a first down for the Falcons. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, Hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 16, first down Falcons.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Charles, ready, ready. Come on, baby, come on, let's go.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. This one caught by Ridley. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 31-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. And that is incomplete. Stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver. But it'll be second and goal. The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for second and goal.
Slam, slam, slam. Alert flare, flare, flare. Check, crunch, crunch, crunch.
Out of the gun, they give to Freeman. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
It's a very short kick taken by an up man. So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Falcons here as we say so long from Atlanta.